All right, let's talk about the silent addiction that might be holding you back, planning. In this explainer, we're going to give you a clear path, a system to get out of your head and finally into action. So, does this sound familiar? You spend way more time creating the perfect plan than you do actually doing the work. You're constantly preparing to start, but you never actually start. If that's you, you're in the right place. And we're not just going to talk about the problem. We're going to give you a simple system to break that cycle and take real, meaningful action within the next 24 hours. So, why are we so hooked on planning? Well, look at this. On the left, that's what we tell ourselves, right? It feels productive, it feels safe. But the column on the right, that's the hard truth. That feeling of being productive, it's just an illusion of progress. That feeling of safety, that's actually just fear of action. And the most brutal truth of all, trying to avoid failure by planning forever is the one guaranteed way to fail.
And here's why it's so tough to break this cycle. Your mind is basically designed for comfort. It's an efficiency machine, and its main job is to avoid anything that's difficult or uncertain. Action is messy, it's unpredictable. Planning? Oh, that's clean, it's safe, it's predictable. Your brain is simply choosing the easier path every single time.
You know, planning is the most sophisticated form of procrastination out there because it looks and feels just like work, but really it's just the perfect hiding place for fear. Fear of not being good enough, fear of what other people will think. So to break free, we need a new mental operating system. And the blueprint for that system, well, it's not new at all. It's anchored in some really timeless wisdom. So let's look at some foundational truths about taking action. Now, this isn't just philosophy. These are practical, rock-solid principles that will anchor the system we're about to build together. This verse from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, man, it is incredibly powerful. It lays out a direct chain of cause and effect. We become what we do. The path from desire to actually getting something isn't through thinking about it more. It's through resolving, working, and doing. Here's the key. Our identity isn't shaped by our plans. It's forged by our actions. Your plans say what you want to be, your actions decide who you become.
And this idea of active engagement is absolutely central to yogic wisdom. Patanjali's Yoga Sutras define Kriya Yoga as a dynamic practice. The key word there is Kriya, which means action or effort. Growth isn't about planning to grow, it's about practice. So how do we turn this ancient wisdom into a modern, practical system?
Well, we're going to translate this wisdom into a super simple, modern protocol I call the 1-1-1 execution system. This is how we turn that philosophy into a practical weapon against procrastination.
The whole system is built on 3 pillars of focus and action. 1 target to completely eliminate that feeling of being overwhelmed. 1 hour of ugly work to destroy perfectionism. And 1 repeatable trigger to build unstoppable momentum. Let's break each one down.
Okay, step 1. Choose 1 target. Not 2, not 10. The planning addict loves having 10 projects going at once, right? Because it's the perfect excuse to never finish any of them. You need to be absolutely ruthless here. Pick the one thing that will make the biggest difference. Just one. This is how you kill distraction.
You know, this idea of one-pointedness is a core part of yogic practice. The Hatha Yoga Pradipika talks about being devoid of all thought or excess mentation that's not relevant to the practice at hand. By choosing 1 target, you are intentionally clearing out all that mental clutter. You're telling your mind, for now, only this matters. That's how you reclaim your focus from the chaos of overthinking.
Step 2 is to commit to 1 hour of ugly, imperfect work. I call this the ugly first draft. The goal is not to create a masterpiece. The goal is to create something, anything. Write the messy code, film the shaky video, make the clumsy sales call. You have to give yourself permission to be a beginner again. The whole purpose of this hour is just to break the seal of inaction. Remember, perfectionism is just fear in a really nice tuxedo. We are aiming for progress, not perfection. And finally, step 3. You need to lock in 1 repeatable trigger. This means defining the exact time and the exact place you will do your 1 hour of ugly work. Not sometime tomorrow. No, tomorrow at 8 a.m. at my kitchen table. This trigger removes all the decision-making from the equation. It turns your vague intention into a scheduled appointment with action. This trigger is the engine of your new habit.
Okay, so we're not going to just talk about this stuff. We're going to do it right now. I'm issuing a 24-hour challenge to move you from just being a viewer to being a doer.
Here are your instructions. 1. Right now, decide on your 1 target for the next 24 hours. 2. Open your calendar and block out 60 minutes. 3. In that calendar invite, write down your specific time and place. And 4, this is the important part. To make it real, go to the comments right now and write "challenge accepted" followed by your one task. This act of putting it out there, it creates accountability. It's a promise, not just to yourself, but to a whole community of people who are also choosing action over planning.
This is probably the most important lesson of all. We think we need to wait for clarity before we act, but that is a trap. Clarity doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. Action is the flashlight. You don't need to see the whole path, you just need to see the very next step. Take that step, and the rest of the path will reveal itself.
If you found this useful, subscribe for more explainers just like this one. Next time, we're going to be tackling how to break through creative blocks using these same principles of focused action. So I'll leave you with this question. Your plans are worthless without action. The future you want isn't built on the perfection of your thoughts. It's built on the consistency of your efforts. So what will you execute in the next 24 hours? The clock starts now.